Valentina stood at the threshold of the Salazar residence, her pulse racing with a potent mix of apprehension and eagerness. She took a deep breath, attempting to steady herself, and adjusted her crisp white uniform, a symbol of her new role. If you are not subscribed, I recommend you subscribe and activate the bell so you don't miss any videos. With a trembling hand, she pressed the doorbell, each chime echoing her mounting anxiety. As the grand door creaked open, she was greeted by an entrance hall that exuded both opulence and an unsettling somberness. The atmosphere seemed almost heavy with unspoken sorrows, making her skin tingle with a sense of foreboding. Eduardo, the father of Pablo, emerged to meet her. His face was etched with lines of worry and exhaustion, betraying the weight of countless sleepless nights. His eyes, though tired, held a glimmer of hope as he introduced her. "Hello, Alicia," Eduardo said, his voice carrying a hint of desperation. "This is Valentina." Pablo's new nurse Alicia, standing nearby, offered a curt nod, her expression stern and unwelcoming. Her lips were pressed into a tight line, lacking any trace of warmth. "Nice to meet you," Valentina said with a polite, though slightly shaky smile. Alicia's response was cold and unyielding. "I trust you understand the gravity of your responsibilities. Pablo requires extensive care." Valentina felt a shiver traverse her spine at Alicia's harsh tone, but she maintained her composure, determined not to be swayed by the icy reception. "I assure you I will dedicate myself fully to his care," Valentina responded with a voice brimming with earnestness. Just as she was beginning to feel the weight of her task settling heavily upon her shoulders, Benjamin, Pablo's grandfather, appeared. His presence was like a beacon of kindness amid the gloom. With eyes that held a profound depth of compassion and sorrow, he extended a warm handshake. "I'm Benjamin, Pablo's grandfather. I'm deeply grateful for your presence," he said, his voice filled with heartfelt sincerity. Valentina felt a wave of relief and comfort from his genuine kindness, a stark contrast to the chilling reception she had encountered. "It's an honor to meet you, Mr. Benjamin," she replied with a renewed sense of optimism. After the brief but tense introductions, Eduardo led Valentina to Pablo's room. As the door swung open, the hum of medical machinery filled the space, a constant reminder of Pablo's fragile state. He lay motionless in the bed, encased in a web of monitors and IV tubes. His face, though peaceful, revealed the extent of his vulnerability. "This is where he spends the majority of his days," Eduardo said, his voice heavy with sorrow. "Before the accident, our son was vibrant and full of life." Valentina gazed at Pablo, her heart aching with empathy and resolve. She understood the magnitude of her responsibility, but her determination to provide the best care was unwavering. "I will give everything I have to help him," Valentina declared with a steely resolve. In the ensuing days, she threw herself into her work with unwavering dedication, meticulously learning every facet of Pablo's medical requirements and ongoing therapies. As time progressed, she began to sense the undercurrents of tension within the household. While Eduardo exhibited genuine kindness, he appeared overshadowed by Alicia, whose disdain for Pablo was evident in her every interaction. One afternoon, as Valentina was attentively adjusting the settings on one of Pablo's monitors, she inadvertently overheard a heated conversation taking place just outside the room. Alicia and Eduardo were engaged in a tense argument, their voices low but filled with palpable frustration. "It was my father who decided to bring her in, not me." Eduardo's voice trembled with desperation and helplessness. "There's nothing more we can do." Alicia's response was laced with icy disdain. "I don't want this house to become even more entangled because of him." Valentina felt a tight knot of anxiety form in her stomach. The harshness of Alicia's words underscored the complexity and strain of the situation at the Salazar residence, revealing a web of conflict and unresolved tensions that went beyond what she had initially perceived. Despite the palpable discord within the household, Valentina found solace and support in Benjamin. He was an elderly gentleman with a gentle demeanor, his silver hair and warm eyes reflecting a lifetime of wisdom and affection. His love for his grandson was evident in every interaction, and he seemed genuinely grateful for Valentina's presence. "Thank you for the care you're providing for my grandson," Benjamin said one afternoon, his voice rich with heartfelt gratitude as he observed Valentina's meticulous attention to Pablo's needs. "Pablo deserves every bit of love and care we can give him." "It's truly my pleasure, Mr. Benjamin," Valentina responded, her smile genuine and full of determination. "I am committed to doing everything I can for him." Benjamin's eyes shimmered with emotion as he nodded in approval, his gratitude palpable. Valentina felt a renewed sense of purpose, knowing that with Benjamin's support and her unwavering resolve, she could make a meaningful difference in Pablo's life. Yet she also understood the importance of staying vigilant and prepared for the challenges posed by Alicia's rigid demeanor and the complex family dynamics. As days turned into weeks, Valentina settled into a meticulous routine at the Salazar home, her attention focused on every minute detail. Pablo lay motionless in his bed, enveloped by the constant, soothing hum of the medical equipment that surrounded him, a stark reminder of his delicate condition. Yet Valentina couldn't shake the unsettling feeling that something was amiss. One day, while adjusting Pablo's medication, Valentina's eyes were drawn to an unlabeled vial partially obscured behind the other bottles. Her heart skipped a beat as she studied the vial, noting its clear liquid and the lack of identification. A shiver of unease raced down her spine. The presence of this unmarked substance raised troubling questions. What was it? And why was it not properly labeled? Despite her growing apprehension, Valentina knew she had to remain composed and methodical in her approach. In the days that followed, Valentina became increasingly attuned to Pablo's subtle reactions. Though his condition seemed largely unchanged, she observed occasional, faint responses to his environment, a slight twitch of his fingers here, an unexpected blink there. These tiny, seemingly insignificant signs might have gone unnoticed by others, but Valentina was determined to interpret them as crucial clues in her mission to provide the best care for Pablo. One afternoon, as Valentina gently spoke to Pablo, trying to soothe him with soft words, she casually mentioned his family. The moment she uttered the word family, she noticed an almost imperceptible spike in Pablo's heart rate on the monitor. Her heart raced with a mix of hope and trepidation. Leaning in closer, her voice barely more than a whisper, she said, "Pablo, if you can hear me, move just a little. Please." Anything. To her astonishment, Pablo's finger twitched ever so slightly. The gesture was so minimal that it might have been dismissed as a mere involuntary spasm, but to Valentina, it felt as though he had shouted in defiance. The small, yet significant reaction stirred a deep sense of concern within her. What was it that frightened Pablo? What secrets were hidden within the walls of this house? Determined to uncover the truth, Valentina began meticulously documenting every oddity she observed. She carried a small notebook with her at all times, recording each subtle movement and reaction of Pablo with painstaking detail. Meanwhile, Alicia's behavior grew increasingly domineering and demanding. Her directives regarding Pablo's care were precise to the point of being obsessive, yet Valentina couldn't ignore the chilling lack of genuine empathy in her tone. Eduardo appeared to be caught in a torturous limbo, torn between his desire to care for his son and the overpowering influence of Alicia. Even Benjamin, despite his evident love and concern, seemed constrained by Alicia's oppressive presence, unable to exert much influence. One night, Valentina decided to re-examine the medications. As she meticulously rearranged the vials, she once again came across the unlabeled vial. This time, her resolve hardened. She would take it with her and have it analyzed later. As she slipped it into her pocket, the door swung open abruptly, and Alicia entered with an air of icy authority. "What are you doing?" Alicia demanded, her voice sharp and unforgiving. Just organizing the medications, Valentina responded, striving to maintain her composure. Alicia's penetrating gaze lingered on her for a tense moment before she turned on her heel and exited the room. Valentina's heart raced. She knew she had to tread carefully. Alicia's scrutiny was relentless, and she couldn't afford to reveal her suspicions. Later that evening, Valentina approached Benjamin with a sense of urgency. She pulled the vial from her pocket and handed it to him. "Mr. Benjamin, I found this among Pablo's medications. It has no label, and I'm uncertain about its contents." Benjamin's brow furrowed deeply as he examined the vial with a furrowed brow. "This is deeply troubling, Valentina. We must uncover what this substance is and determine why it's been left here. This could be crucial to understanding the true nature of the situation in this house." His concern mirrored Valentina's unease, and together they prepared to confront the growing mystery surrounding Pablo's condition and the unsettling dynamics of the Salazar household. Valentina nodded resolutely, her feelings a mix of apprehension and unwavering resolve. "We need to take this vial to a lab for thorough analysis," she said firmly. "We can't afford any risks when it comes to Pablo's health." As they discussed their plan, Alicia entered the room, her demeanor colder and more imperious than ever before. "What are you two doing in here?" she demanded with a sharp edge to her voice. Valentina turned to face Alicia, striving to keep her voice steady. "We're simply reviewing Pablo's medications to ensure everything is correct and up to standard." Alicia's gaze was penetrating as she surveyed the room. "I've decided we need an expert opinion on this matter. I've arranged for Dr. Honorio to visit us tomorrow. He's a highly regarded specialist." Valentina exchanged a concerned glance with Benjamin. The situation was becoming increasingly opaque, and her instincts told her that something was amiss. Nonetheless, they had no choice but to wait and observe what the new doctor's evaluation might reveal. The following day, the tension in the Salazar house was nearly tangible. Dr. Honorio arrived punctually, his appearance immaculate and his demeanor excessively polished. His smile seemed overly rehearsed, and his eyes were devoid of any visible emotion. "Good morning," he greeted them with a professional tone. "I'm Dr. Honorio. I'm here to assess Pablo's condition." Alicia stood close by, her eyes fixed on the doctor with an unsettling intensity. "Thank you for coming, Doctor. We want to ensure that every possible measure is being taken for Pablo." Dr. Honorio acknowledged her with a nod and followed Valentina and Benjamin to Pablo's room. As the doctor conducted his examination, Valentina couldn't help but notice the frequent, discreet exchanges of glances and hushed conversations between Alicia and Dr. Honorio. The secrecy of their communication stirred a deep sense of unease within her. Valentina remained observant, scrutinizing the doctor's every action. Dr. Honorio carried out a series of tests and reviewed the medication regimen with meticulous attention. After a thorough evaluation, he addressed them with a composed demeanor. "The treatments you have been administering seem appropriate, Doctor," Honorio stated calmly. "At this point, there is no need to alter the current regimen." Alicia's face lit up with satisfaction. "Thank you, Doctor. I knew we were proceeding correctly." Despite Alicia's evident relief, Valentina remained unconvinced. The way Dr. Honorio and Alicia interacted left her with a lingering sense of mistrust. There was an undercurrent in their behavior that suggested not everything was as it seemed. "Thank you for your time," Dr. Valentina said with controlled composure. "We will continue to monitor Pablo's condition closely." Dr. Honorio nodded and bid them farewell, leaving Valentina and Benjamin with a heightened sense of concern and unresolved questions. That night, as Valentina attended to Pablo, she observed a noticeable increase in his restlessness. Each time she mentioned Alicia or Eduardo, Pablo's small frame seemed to tense in fear, as if their very names caused him distress. Valentina leaned closer, her voice soft and encouraging. "Pablo, if you can hear me, please try to move a bit." "I want to help you." To her astonishment, Pablo managed a slight movement of his fingers. Although it was a subtle gesture, it was enough for Valentina to feel a surge of hope and determination. It was clear that Pablo was conscious and attempting to communicate in some way. With renewed resolve, Valentina decided she would pursue the truth, regardless of the obstacles. Unraveling the mystery behind the unsettling dynamics in the Salazar household was crucial to ensuring Pablo's safety and well-being. In the dimly lit living room, the atmosphere was charged with palpable tension. Benjamin's voice cut through the silence, firm and resolute. "Alicia, Eduardo, we need to discuss a very serious matter," he said, his tone grave but controlled. "We've uncovered something deeply troubling about Pablo's treatment." Alicia's expression hardened as she crossed her arms defensively. "What are you implying?" she demanded, her eyes narrowing. Benjamin pressed on. "Upon reviewing the medications and treatments Pablo has been receiving, it's become evident that they are inappropriate and may have been causing him significant harm." Eduardo cast a sidelong glance at Alicia, his gaze laden with suspicion. Despite his uncertainty, Alicia maintained her icy demeanor. "I don't understand what you're suggesting. Everything we've done has been in line with Dr. Honorio's instructions." Benjamin shook his head with disappointment. "No, Alicia. We've consulted another reputable doctor, someone we trust implicitly. He has confirmed our fears. Your decisions are endangering Pablo's life." Alicia's face flushed with anger, her temper flaring. "You have no authority to involve another doctor without our consent. This act of defiance is unacceptable, and I won't stand for it." Valentina, remaining composed amidst the escalating hostility, interjected calmly. "Our sole concern is Pablo's health. If you genuinely care for him, you must acknowledge that something is amiss and permit us to proceed with the revised treatment." Eduardo's internal conflict was evident, but Alicia's intervention was swift. "This behavior is intolerable. If you persist in this insubordination, you will both be dismissed immediately." A wave of dread washed over Valentina. The prospect of being fired and losing her ability to protect Pablo was deeply unsettling. She quickly reassessed her strategy. "I apologize if we've caused any inconvenience, Mrs. Alicia. Our intention is only to ensure Pablo's well-being. I will adhere to your directives." Alicia's gaze remained scrutinizing, but after a tense pause, she nodded curtly. "You better comply. I will not tolerate further interference." Once Alicia and Eduardo exited the room, Benjamin turned to Valentina, his face etched with worry. "Do you think it's wise to pretend compliance?" Valentina sighed heavily. "For now, it's our only option. We need time to implement the new treatment without arousing suspicion. We must proceed strategically." In the following days, Valentina and Benjamin diligently followed Dr. Lisa's revised treatment plan, administering the correct medications discreetly and meticulously monitoring Pablo's reactions. Gradually, signs of improvement began to emerge. Pablo's complexion appeared healthier, and his vital signs became more stable. One afternoon, while adjusting Pablo's IV, Valentina observed a subtle twitch in his fingers. "Pablo, if you can hear me, we're making progress. We're here with you," she whispered, a flicker of hope igniting within her. Benjamin, standing quietly in the doorway, offered a faint but encouraging smile. "We're on the right path, Valentina. We can't afford to give up." Despite the ongoing tension within the Salazar household, Valentina and Benjamin's resolve remained unshaken. They were determined to safeguard Pablo and uncover the full extent of the family's hidden truths. With each passing day, they drew closer to exposing the dark secrets that shrouded the Salazar family, inching ever closer to restoring Pablo's life and well-being. The morning light seeped gently through the curtains, casting a soft, hopeful glow over Pablo's room. Valentina stood vigil at his bedside, her eyes fixed on the monitors as she meticulously checked his vital signs. The new treatment prescribed by Dr. Lees was making a difference. The atmosphere in the room had shifted from one of despair to a fragile yet promising hope. As Valentina adjusted the medication, she noticed a subtle twitch in Pablo's hand. Her heart skipped a beat as she paused, her breath held in anticipation. Moving closer, she spoke softly. "Pablo, can you hear me?" Pablo's eyelids fluttered open slowly, revealing tired but focused eyes. He blinked a few times, trying to lock in Valentina's reassuring presence. "Pablo," Valentina murmured with a mix of joy and relief, "you're awake." The boy's attempt to speak was faint, almost imperceptible. Valentina leaned in, her ear attuned to the barely audible whispers. "Dad and Alicia." "Mom." A shiver ran down Valentina's spine as the gravity of his words began to sink in. "It's okay, Pablo. I'm right here. Tell me what happened." Summoning his strength, Pablo continued, "Dad and Alicia were arguing with Mom. Then she fell down the stairs. I heard Dad say it had to look like an accident. Alicia helped him. They didn't want me to tell." The horrifying reality of Pablo's revelation hit Valentina like a cold wave. Her resolve hardened. "I understand, Pablo. I'm here to protect you. You're safe now." Without a moment's hesitation, Valentina rose and headed for the door, her mind racing with urgency. "I'm going to call the police," she said with determination. "Don't worry, Pablo. I'll make sure you're safe." Her heart pounded as she rushed downstairs, her thoughts a flurry of concern and resolve. In the kitchen, she found Benjamin and quickly relayed the grim news. "Pablo has woken up and told me that Eduardo and Alicia were involved in his mother's death. We need to contact the police immediately." Benjamin's face tightened with solemnity. "I'll make the call. This can't go on any longer." While Benjamin made the urgent phone call, Valentina returned to Pablo's room. She took his hand gently in hers, offering comfort. "The police are coming, Pablo. Everything will be all right," she reassured him, her voice steady but filled with compassion. Within moments, the sound of footsteps and voices signaled the arrival of the police. 2 officers entered the house with purpose, and Valentina and Benjamin guided them swiftly to Pablo's room. Sergeant Gomez, the lead officer, approached with a demeanor of quiet empathy. "Pablo, I know this is a difficult situation, but we need to hear everything you remember. Please, take your time." Pablo's gaze met Sergeant Gomez's with a mix of fear and resolve. Valentina stood close by, her hand still holding Pablo's, offering silent support. The room was charged with a sense of impending justice, the wheels of truth slowly starting to turn. The path to uncovering the full story had begun, and Valentina was determined to see it through, ensuring that Pablo's voice was heard and justice was served. As the days passed, the atmosphere in the Salazar house shifted from one of fear and secrecy to a more hopeful and supportive environment. With Eduardo and Alicia detained, the house, though still echoing with the shadows of past events, now felt lighter. Valentina's dedication to Pablo was unwavering. She spent countless hours at the hospital, ensuring he was comfortable and surrounded by the care he needed. Each day brought small victories. Pablo's strength improved incrementally, and his interactions grew more lively. The boy's journey from fragility to recovery was slow, but each step forward was a testament to his resilience and the efforts of those supporting him. Benjamin was a constant source of support, his presence providing both emotional and practical assistance. He worked tirelessly alongside Valentina, advocating for the best possible care for Pablo and ensuring that every detail of his treatment was attended to with the utmost care. One afternoon, as Valentina sat by Pablo's bed, the boy's eyes reflected a mixture of gratitude and weariness. His voice, though still weak, held a note of profound appreciation. "Thank you for everything, Valentina. I didn't think I'd make it through." Valentina took his hand gently, her eyes softening. "You're stronger than you know, Pablo. We're all here for you, and we'll get through this together. You're not alone." Benjamin, standing in the doorway, witnessed the heartfelt exchange. His heart swelled with pride and relief, knowing that despite the harrowing events, they had managed to turn a corner. The darkness that once enveloped the house was lifted, replaced by a renewed sense of hope and commitment to Pablo's well-being. With Alicia and Eduardo facing serious charges, the legal process began, bringing to light the full extent of their actions. The case against them was built on solid evidence, including Pablo's testimony, which proved pivotal in unraveling the truth. The Salazar family, once a source of fear and conflict, was now under intense scrutiny, and justice for Carla and Pablo was becoming a reality. Valentina continued to be a steadfast advocate for Pablo, ensuring that he received not only the medical care he needed, but also the emotional support essential for his recovery. As he slowly regained his strength, the bond between them deepened, marked by mutual respect and trust. The road to full recovery would be long, but with each passing day, Pablo's condition improved. The atmosphere in the house and hospital was filled with cautious optimism. Valentina and Benjamin's unwavering support, coupled with the justice being served, set the stage for a new beginning for Pablo, a future where he could heal and find stability once more. As Pablo continued to recover, his progress was nothing short of remarkable. The emotional and physical healing he experienced was a testament to his strength and the unwavering support from Valentina and Benjamin. The days at home became a blend of routine and new beginnings. Valentina and Benjamin maintained a structured schedule to support Pablo's rehabilitation. Physical therapy sessions became a cornerstone of his recovery, and with each passing day, Pablo's movements grew steadier and more confident. The exercises were demanding, but Valentina and Benjamin made sure they were also engaging and encouraging, creating a positive environment for Pablo to thrive. The house, once shadowed by the trauma and tension of the past, now echoed with laughter and encouragement. Pablo's recovery was not just a physical journey, but an emotional one as well. The support system Valentina and Benjamin provided helped him process his grief and fears, allowing him to find solace in sharing stories about his mother, Carla. These conversations helped him reconnect with happier memories and build a sense of closure. Pablo's desire to ride his bike again became a symbolic goal for his recovery. Valentina and Benjamin made sure to nurture this aspiration, celebrating every milestone along the way. When the day finally arrived for Pablo to ride his bike, it was an emotional moment for everyone involved. The sight of Pablo, with his helmet on and a look of determination, pedaling down the driveway, brought tears of joy to Valentina's eyes. His laughter as he wobbled and then steadily gained confidence was a sound of triumph and resilience. The bike ride was more than just a physical achievement. It represented a significant step in Pablo's journey toward reclaiming his sense of normalcy and joy. The experience was also a powerful reminder of how far he had come and the strength he had found within himself. As Pablo continued to rebuild his life, Valentina and Benjamin remained dedicated to his well-being. They worked closely with therapists and medical professionals to ensure that he received the best care possible. The support from the community and the staff who had rallied around them added an extra layer of comfort and reassurance. Pablo's recovery was a gradual process with moments of progress and setbacks. Yet with each challenge, he faced it with bravery and the unwavering support of Valentina and Benjamin. Their home became a haven of love and encouragement, where every small victory was celebrated and every obstacle faced together. The journey to recovery was a long one, but it was marked by hope, love, and the indomitable spirit of a young boy who had faced unimaginable adversity. Valentina and Benjamin knew that while the road ahead might still hold challenges, The strength they had seen in Pablo and the love that surrounded him would guide them through every step of the way. Thank you for joining us on this emotional journey of resilience and recovery. From the harrowing truth that was uncovered to the incredible strength displayed by Pablo and the unwavering support from Valentina and Benjamin, we've witnessed a powerful story of overcoming adversity. We hope this story has inspired you and offered valuable insights. What have you learned from Pablo's journey and the efforts of those who stood by him? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Please share one lesson you've taken away and how you plan to incorporate it into your own life in the comments below. If you found this video moving and insightful, please leave your comment, like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content that aims to uplift and inspire. Your support helps us continue to bring these important stories to light. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video.